Okay, so question 5. Draw the Lewis structure of Cl(O2-), including all the formal charges. So first, let's find the total valence electrons for this ion. Chlorine contains 7 valence electrons, and oxygen contains 6. Since there are 2 oxygen atoms, we multiply this by 2. And the overall ion has a -1 charge, so we're going to add an additional electron to our count. So now 7 plus 12 plus 1, so this gives us 20 valence electrons in total. So now let's try to write out a Lewis structure. Chlorine is going to be our central atom. And now I'm just going to draw single bonds to oxygen and fill out all the lone pairs. So let's count out how many I've drawn so far. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 20, but if I were to calculate the formal charge, then these 2 oxygens would both be negative. So since I only want a single positive charge in my final ion, I'm going to make one of them double bonded. So now let's double check and calculate for the formal charge. The formal charge is the number of valence electrons minus the number of non-bonding electrons minus the number of bonding electrons divided by 2. So for fluorine has 7 valence electrons, and in this structure there are 4 non-bonding electrons, and there are 3 bonds to chlorine, so each has 2 bonding electrons, so there are 6 in total. So 7 minus 4 minus 3 is 0. So our chlorine is neutral. Now let's do the same thing for our oxygen on the left. So oxygen has 6 valence electrons. There are 6 non-bonding electrons, and there's only a single bond. So we have 2 bonding electrons divided by 2, and we have a formal charge of -1. So I'm just going to write this oxygen having a negative charge. And now let's just quickly find the formal charge of our oxygen on the right. It also has 6 valence electrons. This time the number of non-bonding electrons is 4. And there's a double bond, so we go 4 divided by 2. And it has a formal charge of 0. Okay, so this is one of the Lewis structures for this ion. And I'm also just going to draw another resonance form. Let's go this way, where the oxygen on the left can have a double bond, and the oxygen on the right will have the negative charge. So this is another resonance structure for this ion. Okay, so if we see what the junior tutor said, they calculated the same total valence electrons and drew out the skeletal structures and wrote out all the different Lewis structures that you could get. Okay, so the last one is unlikely to occur. since oxygen is a little more electronegative than the chlorine, oxygen is most likely to have the negative charge. But I'll still say that this solution is correct.